All right. Here we have an update to Google Maps that apparently will no longer give you the fastest route by default, which seems counterintuitive. You say, that's what I need from you, my map application. That's what I'm looking for.
Isn't it always funny when you have the other routes and it says like, go this route if you want, but it's like 15 minutes slower.
Right.
It's like, why would you even present that to me?
That's right.
There's like a U-turn around.
Yeah. It's like,
Well, I'm about to tell you why, Jack.
it better be good.
I'm about to tell you why. Little thing called the environment, Jack.
Oh.
Yeah, you ever heard of the environment?
Okay. All right.
That thing that you've been destroying?
Hey, I'm doing my part.
Sure, bud.
You see that smart car out
That's
there?
what they all say.
It's a great car.
That's what they all say. So, by default, this is crazy. By default, it will now suggest the most efficient route, not the fastest route. So efficient from the standpoint of fuel efficiency. Because your vehicle driving at different speeds, like if it happens to be a highway or the freeway or something, is going to be using fuel in a different manner than even if it's faster to go some other way that you have to do a lot of stop and go, something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in most cases, I would assume the most efficient route would likely line up with the fastest route, but not always. Mm-hmm. And it is important to note that you will be able to select otherwise. The option still exists in here for you to default to the fastest route instead of the most efficient one.
The ruin the planet route?
Sometime later this year, Google will push out an update for maps that will no longer show users by default the quickest way between 2 points. Instead, it will show the most fuel-efficient way to get from point A to B. The new algorithm will take into account fuel consumption and focus on how much gas is being spent instead of how much time is being used during an automobile outing. Now, another group that may appreciate something like this would be the delivery drivers, the Uber drivers, things like this, where they're really paying attention to the expenditure driving a vehicle around. And they may want to default to the most fuel efficient route. What do you guys think about this? Are you okay with this, or do you want the quickest no matter what? And tell the truth here.
No, I am okay with this if I don't have somewhere to be immediately. Like if it's a Sunday afternoon drive, I'm driving out to a park to go for a walk, I'll take an extra 10 minutes if it means I save a seal somewhere.
You see that, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
Now, I believe there's a limit to this, how much you will save the planet. What if I were to propose to you that the efficient route was 20 minutes longer than the fastest?
Well, okay.
On a 5-minute drive.
I know. Is my drive now?
No, your drive is, you got an hour-long drive or an hour and 20.
It would have to depend on the...
Now, this is very unlikely, but I just hit you with a philosophy. It's very unlikely, obviously, that these two things would exist, that you would be on the road 20 minutes longer and use less fuel. Very unlikely.
I think that's right at the cusp there, the 20 minutes. It's kind of like, okay, maybe that's a little too inconvenient. But, again, if it's a Sunday, maybe I got an extra 20 minutes.
These are important conversations.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, humans are going to do what they do. And you have meetings inside these companies, and they have to figure out where the human capacity lives for how much a person is looking to potentially disrupt their day in exchange for efficiency, let's say, in this case, or the environment in Jack's case, or whatever it is, whatever so happens to be. So there's a lot of different variables. Like, what if you got an electric car? It's a lot of different variables.
Right. Yeah. You wouldn't feel so bad. You wouldn't need to take any of these.
Well, you're not dealing with fuel efficiency.
Yeah.
Granted, you're still using energy. You're still being less efficient, right? They still, I'm sure that the math, there's still some sort of an algorithm, even if you're electric. It just probably wouldn't be to the same extent. Anyway, Jack's saving the planet.
What would your cutoff be? Like, how many minutes is okay?
It's definitely not 20, if I'm being honest. 20 is too much. I feel like, what am I driving around town here for?
Just doing circles?
Yeah, what am I? I think 10 minutes. Now, granted, if it was a situation where I was really one of these types that was really focusing on the cost of things, and it was a frequent commute, and it was a more efficient ride every day. I was consuming less fuel, but taking 10 minutes longer. I think that's it. Okay, okay, but again, it all depends on the specific way that an individual uses the roads. For me, anything over a 10-minute difference, no chance.
Fair enough.
All right.
No chance.